Everybody, welcome back. Northernlion plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We have 5 wins in a row. Some very, very momentum-driving Isaac runs lately. A little bit less punishing. Oh, Cain. It will come back to you. Cain, it will come back to you. You know, this song is called Cain. It's by Steely Dan. DED7 T10J. I forgot why I like Cain. He's fun, though. he's got a decent amount of HP. He's got a funky eye patch like Brett from Flight of the Conchords. He's got starts. Hey, no pills can be bad, right? That's like Cain's main thing. And luck stat of 1. I can get pogged over that. Why not? No pills can be bad, dude. Then again, that doesn't mean that they're gonna be good. Anyway, it's the same day. Having a good time today. We should go back for the Verp. We may not, but we may. I'll think about it, okay? How are we doing over here in Canada? We're doing okay, thank you for asking. It's a Wednesday today. I mean, my weeks are very standard, but we're kind of like riding out, well, I mean, I don't mean to say like it's coasting, because, you know, it's still a lot of work, but we're rocking this like old, antiquated schedule that's a little bit less stream heavy and a little bit more video heavy for now, and I'm enjoying it and having a good time, but also very excited and exhilarated by opening the new streaming schedule in a couple of days, which I'm going to keep like sneakily, I suppose, self-promoting across all of my content. So starting Friday, New Year's Day, which I hope, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait a minute. This video is probably coming out on like the Saturday, so you might have missed the glorious kickoff. That's okay. It's possible that stream might have sucked anyway. I hope it doesn't, but there's no way for us to know yet. You know, it hasn't happened. Do my best to make sure that's not the point, or that's not how it goes, but you never know. But in the future, right now, 11 to 4 p.m. a.m. Sorry, it was 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific time. Every day except Saturday, we're gonna be rocking. We're gonna be rocking some stream-based content. I'm excited. Honestly, one of the things I'm excited about is I'm such a, and I haven't talked about this on stream too much, but there was like a period for a year or so where I was like, every video I was like, I'm a routine-driven person. I'm a habit-driven. I do the same things every day. I get up at the same time, more or less. I eat the same breakfast, and, you know, I'm like that kind of guy, right, for the most part. I'll admit, being, like, spontaneous is hard for me, and, you know, I get very ornery if, like, something forces my bedtime to be, like, an hour later than it would otherwise be. Previously, I probably would have been a little bit upset if something had forced my bedtime to be an hour earlier, but now I'm like, yo, that's, honestly, Merry Christmas. That's, like, a nice gift. We'll use Justice, and then probably should look for a secret room, because an Eternal Heart could do a lot for us. Is that another Verp? It's not. It's a Gulp. Okay, well actually, we'd like to Verp a Gulp. I know it's a little confusing, but we'll Verp that Gulp. That way, if we get trinkets here, we can take them, or if we get trinkets on the next floor, we can take them. Just make sure you actually grab it. And then, you know, we do have a decent chunk of change here. I honestly, usually you blow this guy up too. Didn't work out that well there, but then you would expect our regular secret room to be right here. And I'm just gonna blow him up. Key Beggar tends to, like, it's not like there's nothing good there, but hey, check this out. There you go, nice little gulp. And I actually think that our plan is to buy a Spirit Heart if one's for sale. It's not. So we'll blow this up. And I think I'm gonna take these are not great. Like the spacebar items were not great there. I think we'll take the card then. That's actually a really good card in case we get an arcade on the next floor, which is kind of what I was banking for anyway. But anyway, in spite of being a routine-driven individual, I've kind of had like a non-routine-driven weekly Twitch schedule, right? Or at least it's the same times every week, but it's inconsistent, right? Like Monday starts at 3. All these are in Pacific time. Monday starts at 3. Tuesday starts at 11. But there have been times where it started at 1. There's been times where it started, you know, at 3. There's been times that it started at 2. Wednesday is 2 to 5. Thursday's 2 to 5. Friday sometimes exists, sometimes doesn't. And then Sundays start at 1. You know, it's just every day almost started at a different time, which is fine. Like, there's good reason for that. Like, why does Monday stream 3 to 6 instead of, 2 to 5 like the other days? Well, because, we want Josh to be on the show, and for Josh to be on the show, he's got to be there at, he's on Eastern time, and he works a normal job, so we had to work that around. Why are Wednesday and Thursday at 2 to 5? Well, it was requested by some of the people that are in the Eastern time zone that to have the show finish a little bit earlier would be nice, which I completely, actually, especially now agree with, now that we have a baby. And then on top of that, I've had to move sometimes around as over the years I've had, like programming classes that started at like 5:30. So yeah, basically, that's the general gist of that. But now, I'm like, I think it's a very good time for us to simplify things and start and finish at the same time every day so that we can, like, build a good foundation at home. Because, like, it's like, we're living that life right now, and again, it's not a complaint. It's just a recognizance of, like, how much work that having a kid is. Every half hour changes our nights drastically. We'll still use justice here. Just be cool. Don't want to use my holy mantle charge if I don't have to. But like if I stream half an hour longer, that was just idiotic. If I stream half an hour longer than I originally planned to, it throws our night into a certain degree of disarray, and particularly because like the further you get into the night, you're like, okay, the stream ends. Like we gotta. Maybe Kate's got to stream after that. Then we got to cook dinner. Then we got, do the dishes after dinner. And, of course, eating dinner is not instantaneous. We got to feed the baby probably 2 times over the course of that. Roll in a couple diaper changes. And then if it's bath night, you got to run the bath. Takes like 15, 20 minutes to run the bath. You do another chore simultaneously. And then you do the bath time. And, well, Kate's giving the bath to the baby all like, maybe do something else, like try to vacuum or something, set the videos, etc., etc. I'm not trying to say like, oh, woe is me. I'm just saying like, having a more consistent schedule and one that ends a little earlier in the day is going to be it's going to be big pog. I think it's going to lead to some better content as well. Okay, just stop jumping, okay? If you enjoy the happier demeanor Isaacs, you're going to enjoy the new stream content, I think. That's how I'm thinking about it right now, at least. Okay, we love the Spirit Hearts, but we'd also love some... Sure, I think we can make Death's List work here. Not every time, but more than you might expect. This is probably our second secret room. And we did get a blood bank. Didn't show up where I expected, but that's okay. Anyway, you know what? We live in a more globalized world now, for sure. Not than yesterday, but I mean, like, than things were 20 years ago. Like, 20 years ago, if you watched television and you saw, like, a show about Japan, it would blow your mind. You would be like, what the heck? There's restaurants you can go into where you just order, like, on a machine, and then your food comes out, and you just take it with you. And, we got that over here now with, like, the apps that you get at restaurants for takeout and stuff like that. That is going to hurt us, I think, to use, so I'm skeptical here. And so on and so forth. But one of the things that has not made it over from Japan yet, even as, like, bidets get more and more popular, is the audit, because I think it's, like, more of an infrastructure thing, is trains! Just kidding. But also, yes, I mean, I understand we live in a large landmass, but regardless, I wasn't going to say trains. I was going to say, you might not be familiar with this, but in Japan, a lot of apartments have automatic bathtub fillers. Even if you don't use the bath that much, and I'm sure maybe it's a little bit more expensive, but I don't see many arguments for not having this, How does it work? Basically, like, on their thermostat, there will be a button, and I don't know what the button says, so I really need Kate to be there if I'm going to use this function. But either way, there's a button on the thermostat, and when you press it, you get to put it in a temperature, and then it just fills the bathtub up to, like, the upper maximum, which is not, like, completely full, but rather is sorry, buddy, by the way, but you gotta go. Is not the upper maximum, but is rather, you know, like there's a little drainage part on a bathtub at the very, like near the top so that it doesn't overflow, or at least guards against overflowing. So helpful, because we've been running these baths for the baby, and it's not a hard task, but like, I don't know why I always find myself having to argue in favor of convenience. Like, people will genuinely, when they hear of something, they'll live their whole life like microwaving every meal, but as soon as you suggest like, you know, hey, we can get cars that are powered by like internal combustion engines instead of using our feet to propel them. They're like, oh, what? You're not strong enough to use your feet to propel them? Oh, you would like to cook your meat on like some kind of metal disc? Oh, is it creating an open flame in the middle of the wilderness? Are you too good for that? Like, there's just some things, like, convenience has a lot of benefits. It doesn't always have to come with, like, an associated, you know, like, oh, this is the problem with society these days, is that people are using knives and forks to cut their meat instead of just using their God-given canines, you know? It's just, it's a very weird and kind of, like, elitist attitude. Like, I'm just saying, you better be living, like, primitive technology if that's the case. You better not have a job in, like, IT and be arguing against modern conveniences. That's what I'm saying. Hold on. I'm just, because we've already taken damage on this floor. I'm just trying to make sure we're good here. But anyway, it would be so helpful to just have, like, a little button on your thermostat or something that you could press. Or, you know, even on your phone, you could just press and then, like, remotely fill up your bathtub. I know it seems like a risk, so like I don't know the plumbing mechanics or the electrical mechanics of what happens in the back end, but it doesn't seem that complicated, right? Like, you already have a hot water boiler in your domicile where, like, you know, it superheats water and then pumps it to, you know, everybody in the building. That's already dangerous. You know, you want to be like, what if something goes wrong? Okay, yeah, what if your boiler explodes? I guess that's not a great argument. Like, you know, you don't want to add more risk than is necessary. But I don't know, I feel like I might make the case that actually manually filling the bathtub is more dangerous. How many times have you heard the story of like, yeah, my upstairs neighbor, you know, she's getting a little up there in age, and this is just a damage bonus, right? Or is it just a tears up? It's still good. You know, she's getting a little up there in age, and then one day I woke up to raindrops falling from my ceiling, and it turns out that she had turned on her bath and then just fallen asleep. Happens all the time. Having, like, an automatic sensor that's like, this is too freaking full. That seems, like, very useful. Anyway, I'm just saying. You know, it's one of those things. I get it's not as easy as, like, just buying a bidet on Amazon and installing it. So it's a harder piece of technology to install in your homes, but I'm hopeful that it kind of comes over, you know? It'd be a very useful, like a smart bathtub. It's one of the very few smart devices I actually think I could get down with. Now, I don't want a bathtub that's like, you know, it tracks the water displacement to give me a perfect estimate of both my changes in weight and body fat percentage. That's like a little too much for me. But if I could get a smart bathtub that is just like, I could go like, hey, bathtub, fill up a bath to 80% at a water temperature of 36 degrees. That would be an awesome quality of life improvement for us right now. Or if I could be like, run routine, baby's bath. And then it would just, you know, fill up to 80% at a temperature of like 34 degrees. It'd be good. It's not 80%. Look, I don't want to get into the mechanics of it. We're not, you know, forcing our baby to go in the deep end. There's like a little bath seat that she goes on, and then, you know, she's supervised 100% of the time, obviously. Why not? Why not? We got the money. Why not? I'm telling you, man, smart bathtub. I don't know, like, I'm not in the business. It seems like something that's hard to market. Like, a lot of smart devices, I don't understand the smart fridge. Maybe I'm just ignorant to that. I don't really want a smart fridge. Like, I don't want Amazon AWS to go out and then I can't, like, enter my password to get inside of my fridge. It's, like, the idea of that is almost a little dystopian to me. I'm sure that's not necessarily exactly how it works. I'm just saying, you know? It's the same, like, I don't really want, like, a smart doorbell, if that makes sense. I'm sure that there's good use cases for having a smart doorbell, but I don't want there to be, like, a Ring hack, and then all of a sudden people are like, oh, this is what it looks like outside of his house. I'm flattering myself a little bit by suggesting that that would even be data that people would want to steal. I'm just saying, you know, I'm quite content with my stupid doorbell where somebody presses the button and it goes ding dong, and then I go, I'll get it later. You know, that works fine for me right now. But a smart bathtub. Think about it. Think about it. Lately I've been skeptical. Some had to do I don't know. That's Limp Bizkit. Not quite on the same level as Steely Dan. Maybe a little bit above Steely. It's a joke. There's no tiny boop squig shorterly. That's for sure. So we're not really making great use of Death's List here, but that's... I mean, if they wanted it to be of great use, they should have made it good at all. Not worth, but you know what? Maybe worth. Sure, why not? This run is very, very good. It's quite unlosable. Shouldn't be an easy one to lose. But it'll be fun regardless. And in fact, I mean, it's kind of more fun for me. I've turned over a new leaf when it comes to Isaac, which has rubbed some people the wrong way, but I hope you'll give me some patience with it. My new leaf is never apologizing when a run is too good. I think that we've almost like redoubled our efforts on that after having quite a number of dubious runs in a short time frame. Now I'm like, honestly, you could give me 101 runs in a row and maybe we'd be even at that point. But I'm not shooting myself in the foot as much anymore. So we care not for my shadow, but we love Abaddon. We love Abaddon. We don't really need to double our hearts if we're just gonna lose them anyway, but alright. So that's very nice. The speed upgrade, always nice. Luck down. Am I insane? I thought we were supposed to never get negative pills as Kane. Am I thinking of a different character? You know what? We don't really need to go to our shop. We can kind of just book it here. He'd make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark. My childhood was typical. Luge lessons in Rangoon. Almost got him. So anyway, yeah, that's what's up. It's been fun, having some fun lately, playing some games. Also not playing some games. I'm telling you, man, I'm maybe 100 years old. I got both new consoles. I'm not trying to brag. Okay? It's part of the business, is also like, you know, for fun, yes. But like, I don't know what to play on. Like, I'm in such a... There should be a website for new dads. That's like new dads who want a game. Because you have such a very unique set of criteria for what's actually like applicable to play as a new dad. It's like, it certainly has to be possible. I'm in my downtime, I'm not running through like another Demon Souls run. I know you can pause it in photo mode, but that requires me to go to Ask Jeeves and figure out how to get to photo mode. And then it's like, tap the share button. And I'm like, back in my day, the share button didn't exist. If you wanted to share something, you had to use your words. And they're like, okay, Grandpa, let's get you back. And then like, I don't know, like, it's just too, like, playing online multiplayer games like Rocket League. I've been having fun with Rocket League, but it's also, like, life's too short to deal with, like, that kind of interpersonal hatred on, like, a daily basis. Like, the average Rocket League session is, like, if you're winning, your teammate is, like, a little mad at you. If you're losing, your teammate is, like, plotting to end you. Like, you're playing like a video game where you hit a little soccer ball with your car. And I'm at Gold 3 or something like that. Like Gold 3, Division 3. Like, we're not talking about, like, these are high-stakes games where, like, if you win, you're winning, like, you know, 10 grand or something like that. If you win, you get, like, a little, you know, neurotransmitter that's like, you know, good job, you did well. People are just lighting you up. Like, if you miss, like, they can miss the ball in the midfield, and they're like, don't be mad. If you miss the ball in the backfield, they're like, uninstall your game. Or they say much worse. They also say much worse from time to time. It's crazy, man. Like, I like Rocket League, I'm just... And you can turn off quick chat and stuff like that, but then how would I flame my teammates when they do something wrong? But I really do feel like life's kind of, like, too short to you know, willfully be like, you know, my workday's done. You know what I want to do now is get yelled at by a 15-year-old who's exactly as good at the game as I am, because we're at the exact same rank, about how, like, oh, I missed my assignment 4 minutes ago, and that's why it doesn't matter that he let in 5 goals, you know? Just wild to me. This is the way, like, people choose to spend their time sometimes. I was thinking about, because I talked about this on stream with Dan the other day, but, like, I woke up in a moment of gastrointestinal distress a couple of nights ago. Had to go to the bathroom, and then when I was in the bathroom, I was just browsing through Reddit, and, like, ended up on our movies, and there was a thread. It was not an upvoted thread, but it was like, you know, it was in the new queue. That was, like, an essay about how Home Alone is so unrealistic because, in the real, if it was really true, even though the movie took place in the early 1990s, Kevin McAllister's family is obviously a little bit upper crust. They probably would have had a cellular telephone, so they should have been able to call, like, either from the airport or even from Paris after they got there to, like, tell the police to go check on Kevin. Whether, be that as it may, whether it's true or not, like, that's beside the point. I'm resisting the idea of even weighing in, because, like, for me, I'm like, you know, it's like a kid's movie from 1992, and it's 28 years later, and you're, like, making an essay about how it's unrealistic, and then, so, like, that's one thing. On the internet, you can never control what OP does, right? OP is wild. They go, you know, a little thought pops into their head. They're like, you know what, 10,000 people have to know this immediately. But what really blew me away is the number of people that replied to it, who were like, well, I was 10 in 1990. They'd leave, like, their own counter essays. Like, I was 10 in 1992, and my grandpa did very well, and he didn't even have a cellular telephone. So I don't think that necessarily the McAllisters would have had a cellular telephone. Moreover, even if they did, to call from Paris would be such an exorbitant amount of money, and then Kevin would, of course, have to also pick up, and, like, you're just like, this is not maybe the way that you can think about everything in life. But, like, if you're having fun, I think you can just be like, you know what, time enjoyed is time not wasted. But in a situation like this, where I don't think anybody was really having fun, it seemed like everybody was very angry about something that's completely inconsequential. I just looked at it and I was like, man, this is like a bunch of people my age arguing over the perception of, like, a kid's movie from 20 years ago that genuinely, like, it doesn't matter at all. That's why I tweeted, and I, you know, made many justifications for this tweet that are unnecessary to begin with. But that's why I tweeted, like, hey, you know what's a good resolution for, like, the year 2021? Stop arguing over dumb stuff online. If you want to argue over, like, politics or whatever, honestly, and I say this sincerely, be my guest. In some ways, and I recognize this is not going to strike everybody the same way, in some ways, I find that kind of noble. Because I have, like, my own political beliefs, but I'm just like, I don't know. I guess I just value my happiness too much to constantly get into arguments online with people who disagree with me. And I don't want to say in every way, but in some ways I kind of see a certain nobility to it, even if it does siphon off a lot of, you know, your time. But if you're getting into arguments about, like, the public perception to Home Alone, or, like, you know, there's a lot of arguments about, like, Star Wars, like, every day online. And like, if you enjoy it, if you enjoy the online debate and you're like, this is fun, then maybe it's not a bad use of your time. But if you, like, audit how you feel, because this is how I feel anytime, and this hasn't happened to me for a long time, but anytime you know, in the olden days, if I'd get into, like, an argument online, it would always, like, almost be a debuff on the rest of my day. But there's something, like, in the moment, there's, like, a very powerful, like, human drive that's like, this person who posted some dumb stuff needs to know that they posted some dumb stuff. I don't know what it is. It's like, it's on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I think it's, like, just above oxygen. I mean, in importance, it's just below oxygen. It's like oxygen, next level. A feeling of intellectual superiority over those who disagree with me on the internet. Next level, food and water. Next level, shelter. I forget the 6th level. Isn't the 6th level like having a plus 1500 elo in chess? Something like that? Self-actualization? That's creep, huh? And this is not like like I'm salty at the internet. It's more just like, I even see it happening in my comments. And like when I see a drive-by comment that's kind of trolling, it's hard to get mad. It's like getting mad at the rain, you know? You're like, you know it's gonna rain. What are you gonna... Oh, the rain's so stupid. Man, the rain must have a really sad life to show up once every 6 days and just make people wet, you know? You can't really be like that. It's just a force of nature. It's an inevitability, like Thanos. Doesn't make any sense to be upset about it. What I get, and I wouldn't say upset, but what I sometimes just... I caution people is sometimes when, you know, when there's a troll in the comments... and well-meaning people respond like, hey, stop being a troll. You know, on some level, it makes me smile to have, you know, an army of defenders out there, for sure. Let's go, girls. But on another level, I'm like, you know, you seem like a nice person because you agree with me. Don't waste your time. Go enjoy, go have a little ice cream sandwich or something. If you took the 10 minutes that you're going to spend typing up a reply to this obvious, like, bad faith argument, and you just, like... you know, went and like looked at a painting or something like that, wouldn't we all be a little bit better off? It would take some time to pay dividends, I think, but eventually I think we would all be a little happier. I'm trying to put that into practice more in 2021. Like, I think the thing is, you got to realize when you engage, I'm not saying you should never talk to anybody you disagree with, but I do think that, like, rather than, you know how you have like a speech filter? Like, every time I talk on a video, it goes through a filter. It's not because I'm, like, afraid I'm going to say bad stuff. But, like, there's a list of words in my head that, like, you know, my address, my credit card number, you know, online passwords and stuff like that. Like, every sentence passes through, like, a quick check that is, like, am I accidentally, you know, revealing sensitive information? I think we should start to consciously add a filter there where, like, before you reply to anything online... rather than being like, this person's a dummy, walk it through a little bit and be like, is this really worth my time? Do I really want to get into like a, you know, like a 10-hour argument that spans like multiple meals of my day about, you know, Brie Larson or something like that? Or like, maybe it would be better off to just go spend some more time with my pets, you know? Or, you know, maybe finally, you know, stop procrastinating on that thing that I've been meaning to do for so long. You know, I could get started on, like, that book report instead. Sorry, teacher, I couldn't finish my essay on, you know, the burial rites of the ancient Egyptians. I was too busy arguing about Rise of Skywalker online. And I got to be better about it, too, because, like, I got to realize it costs something to stay in the argument. It actually gives you a gain to walk away. The only way you win is by walking away sometimes. Because sometimes you'll see, like, well-meaning people will, like, get into arguments about stuff surrounding your content, and you just want to step in and be like, just relax. Like, you're arguing over stuff that ain't even happened yet. It's not worth either of our times. But then I think I'm taking a more laissez-faire attitude now, and I think it's going to be very much for the best if I can actually manage to stick with it. But a more laissez-faire attitude of like, you know, live and let live. And then when I see truly dumb takes, and I'm not saying dumb takes about, you know, the community, usually like, you know, about completely unrelated stuff, but you wouldn't have heard of it. They live in Canada. What I do instead of engaging now is I use the Windows snip tool, and which I've been told now is Windows key Control S or Windows key Alt S to open up. That's very nice, thank you. A keyboard shortcut for a very useful tool. We're changing lives here on the way into 2021. So I'll just very quickly get the Windows snip tool, and then I will take a little screenshot of it, and I'll post it in our super cool Discord for cool people only, and then I'll go, look at this take, and then we all go, ha 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 ha. And it's a victimless crime in many ways, when you don't think about it too much. No, NL, you can't be mean in private to people who are mean to you publicly. That's not fair. All right, that's how you sound. Anyway, we're moving on. Sorry, that was a straw man argument, but it felt good. This is a very good run. And you know what? If I look back, where did this run get defined? It got defined by technology, which is fun. You know, it's a great item. I feel like we don't see it that much anymore. But very much a good day of Isaac today. A good day of Isaac. I mean, this is only the second Isaac video I recorded today, but still, it's a good day of Isaac. Moving on. I'm so stoked, too, dude. The Isaac DLC, I know I mentioned this. Was it even last? It was either last episode or in the Spelunky video I recorded today. The flow of time is very distorted in Lordran right now. But pretty sure that they announced... Like, they haven't announced the date yet, but Ed made a tweet saying, like, Q2 of 2021. I was gonna say 2001. What year am I living in, man? Hey, dude, you bonked your head pretty hard. Twitch? YouTube? I don't know about all that stuff, man. Blink 182 is about to get on the stage at Warped Tour. And then Creed's coming up next. Come on, let's mosh. Cause I fell in love with a girl at a rock show. She shake, gleep, and a gleep, and a gleep, and gloop. You know the meme. Another resolution. I might have like 500 resolutions. I should really write them down. Another resolution for the year 2021 is to pay closer attention to memes and then make a me version of every meme that shows up. I think I've been missing out on a lot of social media engagement by not just... I mean, it seems it's pretty easy in practice, right? Like every single day, just, you know, see if there's a new hot meme. If there's a new meme that's reaching a certain level of critical mass, find a way to insert myself into it and then repost it. I think that could be a lot of fun. It's been a little bit of a dry period for memes. I guess maybe there's some other stuff going on in the world. I haven't looked outside of my window for the last 9 months or turned on my television or opened an internet browser, so I'm presently unaware of it. But I feel like it's been kind of meme dry. I feel like meme-wise, we're still on like the guy in the corner at the party. And it goes like, you know, they don't know that I'm X. And then everybody else is like, you won't stop talking about it. You know the meme. By the way, you may hear the vacuum here temporarily. Do not fear the vacuum, nor the wind, nor the sun, nor the rain. We could be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the vacuum. She looked backwards and said, goodbye, don't fear the vacuum. He had taken his hand. Okay, it's too... Sorry, you get 5 seconds. Not legally speaking, but until people turn off the video because they're like, you can't sing. That's not where you place that bomb. You may hear the vacuum temporarily, but as we are close to the end of the run, I'm just going to let it ride. Also, because I got a lot of stuff to do today. The vacuum is such a weirdly divisive character in the current arc that we have. Some people are like, NL, I can't even hear it. You shouldn't get so stressed out about the vacuum. Especially because you're not worried about much more aggressively noisy stuff, like when you shout and blow out your microphone. Fair enough. I do appreciate that, actually. But then, whenever I start a stream and the vacuum's on, just hundreds of comments, all in a flash. Bad mic? Is this microphone staticky for anybody else? Does anybody else hear that? Are my speakers okay? Does anybody else hear a whirring sound? And then like 3 people are like, I can't hear it. Just go for it. I get annoyed by the vacuum. I understand the existence of the vacuum. I understand its importance, but I get annoyed by it. It's like getting letters from the Canadian Tax Authority. I'm like, I support your noble purposes, but every time I open the letter, if I had a heart rate monitor on, it would be like, hey, sit down. You're gonna die. Sometimes it should be illegal. Sometimes like the tax authority in Canada sends letters and it's like important, open immediately. Then you open it up and it's like, thanks for a great 2020. And you're like, come on, man, you can't do that. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Someone's at the door as well, so goodbye. Thank you.